This is Isonzo. We're here on PlayStation 5 Pro. The game is indeed enhanced. Be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. That's right, Isonzo PlayStation 5 Pro Enhanced, providing a higher visual fidelity with the option to unlock the frame rate and to really just go hard. So this is a game that I've been meaning to do, I guess you would say, a video of the PlayStation 5 Pro version for a while. I was basically just kind of waiting because I was essentially told that there was an initial update for the game where the idea was to bring it up to like 1980p so that the game would be like slightly above what the bounds of the PlayStation 5 were. And then there was supposed to be a fuller update later on, which went to full 4K, like a full 4K resolution, and targeting 60 FPS with the option unlock up to 120 FPS. So yeah, that's kind of the breakdown there for that option, but these are settings that you choose when you go into the video settings, which we'll showcase in a sec here. So it's using Pixel technology to deliver that higher fidelity quality. I think the game does actually look really, really genuinely great. The game, like, yeah, it's quite a beautiful looking sort of experience. If you're not familiar with this game, it's a World War I shooter featuring the Isonzo environment. So this is from the folks that put together Verdun and Tannenberg, which were very faithful recreations of World War I, you know, kind of combat and shooter action. This is sort of just their most recent entry in that franchise of games, which is pretty cool. Like, these games are actually very, very well put together and quite creative from like a technical perspective of actually aiming to did I get team switched? I feel like a fool now. Did I think I got team switched and I didn't even realize it. Okay, that's on me, I guess. I should have. Yeah, because we were defending, right? And or no, we're defending there, and maybe I didn't get team switched. Oh, we just lost the objective. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. No, that's my bad. Totally got to run around there. So yeah, it's intense 48-player matches as you fight across fronts that are a lot more kind of like rocky and a lot more mountainous, because it's the it's supposed to be battles of the northern Italian front, essentially. So yeah, you're fighting over defense positions. Why did I think it's just because the flip with the position? Sorry, I got completely confused there. Totally threw me off. So yeah, 24v24 matches. Players, there's also local, so you can play with AI, even if you don't, you know... It's like gas attacks? That's deadly. So even if the regular player base ever disappears, this game actually seems to have kept a player base a lot longer than Verdun and Tannenberg, in my opinion. Probably the crossplay and stuff like that. But yeah, if there ever is a lack of players and you still want to play this and enjoy it, you can set up full AI matches. Literally a full offline mode right from the main menu that you can choose, which I know some people kind of value as an option. Customization with 50 plus iconic World War I weapons, gear, perks, and cosmetics. Immerse yourself in the Great War with historically accurate maps, weapons, uniforms, and music. Yeah, seriously, like, it is a genuinely, you know, neat and authentic World War I experience. Quick shots will be the end of you, but it's still fun. The pacing's still quick. You're basically playing the equivalent of kind of like, I guess I would call it breakthrough mode from like Battlefield, where you're pushing along these fronts, or defending, you know, attacking or defending along these fronts. Some people are trying to like blow up certain things. Some are trying to prevent that from happening. Sometimes it's about taking positions. The game has some light building mechanic elements too, so you might like set up a little like headquarters and stuff along the way, where you might destroy the enemies, and that all assists or hinders the setup of progression for the enemy team or your team. It's all pretty well set up. Seriously, like it's a neat design. You kind of fit into different roles, and you all provide a different thing to the game. Oh, come on. Is the gas mask on? Yeah, because you actually gotta, like, you know... There's a gas attack, you actually gotta have the mask on. Nobody cared who I was until I put on the mask. Otherwise, you're gonna die because gas attacks are crazy. And then, you know, like, there's certain ability things that could really impact the ability of the other team to progress and, you know, battle and stuff like that. It's really, really quite neat. Like, it's genuinely aiming to be authentic. And visually, I think here on the PlayStation 5 Pro, this game looks absolutely fantastic. We haven't really dove into the visual, smaller details as much, because we've just been floored with the action here. But you do have a host of settings, too. So, there's the FOV, there's graphics modes. So, that's kind of interesting, is, like, you can actually go over, like, how the mode is being applied. So it's like quality, balance, performance, ultra performance, and then usually by default the unlock frame rate is like off, so it's just 60 FPS. But you know, unlocking it goes up to 120, and you can change the gore level too. So this is what it looks like when you're kind of at ultra performance. So like the game just really genuinely looks incredible. It's just kind of sort of toning things down a little bit to make sure that you get 120 FPS, so you know, just keep that in mind if you want to play around with these settings to make sure you're getting the optimal performance. But I really do think it runs really beautifully well and looks good, kind of any of the options that you go for. But I think you can kind of get away with quality there. It's just, you know, how much fluidity you want. How smooth do you want the game to be? And you're not kind of really getting the full, I guess you would say, like, visual and fluidity level, because on YouTube, you know, it doesn't support 120 FPS at the current point in time, so it's not like you're really seeing the fluidity benefits or negatives. Mostly what I'm trying to say is any of the modes you go for, it's going to feel really fluid and good. It just depends on how much of an upper bounds you want when it comes to getting to that higher frame rate, if you so choose, or have a TV that supports it. And just how crisp and clear you want the game itself to look. But it was a very surprising and appreciated PlayStation 5 Pro enhancement for this game. Oh, there goes my arm. Lovely. Because I wasn't really expecting it. I was covering a lot of games with the PlayStation 5 Pro launch, and I would have done a video for this a lot sooner had I known that, you know, that basically... Well, actually, I was waiting for the upgrade, because I knew there was the partial upgrade, and then they're like, a fuller upgrade's coming, and I was like, I'll just wait till the fuller upgrade. And I was like, okay, now I'll get to it and stuff, and yeah. So that's basically why I've had this sitting there for quite a long time. You know, I had it from a Focus... Are they still Focus Home, or whatever they're called these days? The publisher, I had access to it for a long time, but I was just not doing it because I was like, well, I'll just wait till they do a big proper upgrade. Well, not proper upgrade, but you know what I mean, like the fuller upgrade, and I think, yeah, kind of makes sense from my perspective, right? So anyways, this game is kind of brutal, kind of crazy. I like the setup of it. It's got a wide range of different maps. This was something we had like reviewed and streamed a bit when it came out initially. You know, right when it was brand new, and it was really cool. I got a lot of fun. I was playing with my buddy, the channel there, Kevin. We were, you know, we did some streams and stuff like that of this one, and had a really good time with it. I love the fronts. There's like one map where it's just a straight up hill, like just a mountain that the other team is like climbing up, and they do a really good job and an effective job of having environments that are really kind of carved out, really detailed, filled to the brim with stuff going on in them. Like, there's no lack of cover, there's no lack of detail, and you really do get to see the maps kind of get shredded over the course of a match. It really is kind of like Battlefield, but with a more realistic, kind of slower approach to it, as it is attempting to be, you know, a game that does have realism applied, right? Like you move quickly, like there's no pacing issue. You are going along, you are progressing or attacking or defending or whatever you're doing, and it's just got like a great level of like visual richness to it, which I quite appreciate. But like, yeah, it just all works out so well in this game, and it's so good setup, and they've done a wonderful job of post-launch support too. I think that is something they maybe realized for this release too, because this was their most successful one yet. Like, obviously I mentioned they had Verdun and Tannenberg, which both got not PlayStation 5 Pro enhanced upgrades, but both of those did get like next-gen, current-gen upgrades, which was a huge surprise when it happened. Because like a lot of games don't, and this is, you know, a little bit more indie-oriented, and I think it's really cool that those ones got that kind of support. But yeah, the player base and stuff like that is mostly, those are like AI-driven kind of games, whereas this one does seem to actually be retaining, to a degree, a player base going on. I think that's because of the cross-play and stuff, and that's really cool. And through the usage of a decently steady trickle out of like new maps and areas, completely new spaces that are very well detailed, showcasing really cool fronts of war across the Italian campaign. It's really, really neat. And like I said, like, there's parts of this where you do little destruction things, like there's barricades that you cut through, and then, of course, just like the damage environmentally of the combat as well is kind of cool. And I think they really nailed the tone of it. And then there's different like biomes. So it's like Italian front, you know, be like, oh, it's like the same sort of thing, but no, they're vastly different. Oh, I just saw that guy in the top window there. Vastly different, like, positions, and it's all, like I mentioned, very hilled, which is kind of neat, because like other maps, it's trench warfare, but this is trench warfare where you are essentially moving along, you know, hills, and it's just like, it's kind of neat, because if you have that hill advantage, you know, people are just being peppered down, and then the city street levels are kind of really cool too, and yeah, they've put together a really comprehensive and exciting package here, which is another reason why it's kind of fun to dive back into this and take a look at it, is because it is something that keeps improving, and also because it got a PlayStation 5 Pro upgrade here. Can I heal myself? Because, like, I'm not feeling so good. Yeah, you know what I mean? Bloody hands. And I know, I love what they've created here as far as like a competitive multiplayer game. It's certainly got a different vibe, and it's exciting from that perspective. It's not the sort of game that you would maybe typically play, but it's a cool shooter because it aims to be something that is realistic and, again, different. Oh, I just got stabbed down. And I also love the clear distinction between the factions, too. Like, a lot of the time, when you're playing games like this, shooter games like this, they kind of aim for, like, you know, they're kind of realistic at the start and they kind of get silly, but this game straight up has the outfits. Like, it's very distinct on whose team and stuff. And it's kind of funny because, like, some of these outfits, they didn't really aim for, like, blending in, necessarily, back then. And when you get, like, that bright blue aesthetic going on, it's kind of entertaining. Didn't even see where that guy came from. This map is really cool. I think it's one of the newer ones, if I'm not mistaken. Just, like, the level vibes in this game are so good. But yeah, the outfits in that are kind of really entertaining, at least to me, because it's, like, you know, a very, very different aesthetic. Because they get so silly these days. But I love all the setups they've got going on here. I like the way the lighting and everything's done. This PlayStation 5 Pro enhancement here is just fantastic. I actually killed that guy. That was a good shot. That was a very, very good shot. And I love that sense of, like, sure, you die, right? Like, you get shot, you get a bullet or whatever kills you. Because we're using big rifles. But it doesn't feel punishing. Like, there's, what is it, Hell Let Loose or whatever. That game, it's like, it's realistic, but it's sort of, like, overly punishing. And it takes forever to come back and do stuff, whereas this game, it just keeps the flow going. And it's a lot more fun. Like, it's weirdly authentic and realistic. I think I should just sit back and defend because, like, I'm just getting killed trying to, like, retain our, you know, try to help retain a front line there. It's not really working. Oh, we actually got this. And there's so many enemies back there behind us, like... Unbelievable. All I know is it's very, you know, good looking here. Definitely, like, if you want higher performance, though, you do need to go for those more intense performance modes, but, like, visually, just a nice quality of life upgrade. So, definitely a bravo to the team for continuing to support this game. Doing updates for it, adding new things, enhancing this experience. Like, they certainly care about the package they put together. I should have just stabbed him. I got him too, but I should have just stabbed him. What was I thinking? I should have just went, whoosh, you know, just kind of gutted him down, but... Sucks to suck. But, yeah, I mostly want to say, this is really cool. If you've been curious about it, or maybe you strangely haven't heard of it till now, you're missing out on what's actually a really well put together shooter game. Something that is fun, something that has retained players respectably well. Because it's competitive out there for sure. Like, this is a full lobby we're in right now. Oh yeah, I love the screaming. They're screaming. Oh, shut up already, just die. It's over, man. Just let it go. Just let it go. Be like Elsa and just get out of here. Oh, I've almost got this. There we go, nice. Because this is a spawn point for them, so it's important that even if I die, that it gets removed so that they're not spawning behind our lines and gaining a new front. But you get these intense matches, like, you get some, like, really grueling, long times of conflict, and I think they handled that really well, though it's just, like, these long, ongoing matches and these big campaigns. And mostly... yeah, lots of fun. Great game, looks beautifully, visually, just fantastic. They nailed this upgrade, I'm very happy with it. The visuals look clean and sharp, and, you know, I think it's got a great vibe, and they've absolutely just kind of nailed it here. Like, it was cool playing it at launch on Series X, and then, you know, it's nice to take it a step further here on the PlayStation 5 Pro, and, you know, enjoy this really epic, action-packed kind of game, and just... with a better visual set of visual suite of options, and then, you know, the performance on top of that. What are you? I thought those guys were both our teammates. Was I totally missing stuff? Fall back and regroup. We lost the line? That's not good. Can't believe we lost the front. It's certainly, it's like almost like the coolest offshoot of Battlefield, if that makes sense. Truly a different vibe going on. Fall back or I will be executed. Who will execute me if I'm the only one behind enemy lines? I love how I wasted that time putting on the gas mask for this guy that was just sitting in a corner to shoot me on my way in. That's great. It's not looking good for our efforts here. Oh, I'm really just taking in the visuals. I'm quite floored by it. And it's running a lot cleaner too. Like, it was kind of like when I played it on the Series X when it came out, it was screen tearing quite a bit. That's a lot of enemies. And that's the guy that gets me? I think they kind of caught us in a bad twist here where a lot of our guys just aren't, you know, actually back in our base, and we just, like, totally lost the front line there. We were brutally ineffective. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna hold this. This is not looking good. But the game is looking fantastic. Yeah, absolutely, thoroughly enjoyed this game. It's very well put together. It's still a great experience. and they've done a wondrous job with this. I'm looking forward to seeing if they can find additional World War I fronts to kind of recreate, or if they'll do something different in the future. But cool little series of games, definitely worth checking out if you've never seen them before, and great support by the developers to continue to grow this game.